This video is brought to you by our channel partner Rayboot. Their software allows you to fix a ton of issues on iOS. It'll let you upgrade or downgrade iOS as a whole. Enter recovery mode. It has 150 plus issues for iOS that can be resolved. It'll reset your iOS devices, permanently erase data if you need, and a ton of other options if your phone is frozen, if it is stuck in different modes you don't want it to be, if there's excess battery drain, boot loops, it'll take care of it all for you. Thanks for partnering with us on today's video. Well, here we are. I did not expect to be making a video today for another beta, but Apple did Apple things and they just released iOS 26 Beta 9 for registered developers and then iOS 26 Public Beta 6 for public testers. Now, having said that, it was pretty much understood that Beta 8 and Public Beta 5 would have been the last ones in this beta cycle, with the RC coming next week, but here we are. And as always, with betas 7, 8, and so forth, and 9 in this case, we don't expect many changes here. All of this should be under the hood improvements, so don't expect new features to be shown here. Now, having said all that, if you're interested in these wallpapers that a lot of you comment on, make sure to subscribe and thumbs up this video to know when the beta, when that video goes live on our Apple Rewind segment over the weekend, where you can download all of these wallpapers. So, jumping right into it, this is obviously going to be the exact same version number that you see on Developer Beta 9, and it carries a build number of 23A5336A. So again, we do have another A build. I don't think anything is in jeopardy for the RC next week. I think we will still be on track for that, and we will talk about release cycle here in a minute. But before that, let's also quickly take a look at our iPhone storage, since this has been a topic of contention during this whole beta cycle. And somewhat happily and disappointingly, our system data has dropped a little bit, but it is still a massive 33.64 gigabytes. Comment down below, let us know what phone you're using and what your system data is, because this is insane to me. It's obviously down from our 40 that we were complaining about on the prior build, but not where it should be. And then obviously for iOS itself, Apple Intelligence is still holding in a little over 6 gigs, with iOS itself at 13.5 for a total a little under 20 gigs. Still significant, especially if you have a base model for a 128 gig iPhone. These storage are taking a hit off Apple's own product. Now beyond that, I do want to call attention to my battery health, since we've been talking about this throughout the whole cycle as well. And as you can see, as we installed Public Beta 6 or Developer Beta 9, our max capacity did drop another percent, and we are down to 94% with 374 cycles. While it's disappointing to see it did take a little hit here, I don't think it is the worst, since this is about now a year later with this device, obviously with the 17 series coming out in a couple weeks. So in about a year, we did lose 6%. That is still significantly better than the issues we've had in prior years, losing over 10% a year. So definitely it's working here. Hopefully this next gen iPhone 17 series will be even better, but longevity is still not an iPhone strong suit with battery health. Now, aside from that, jumping around to your camera apps, everything is still working how it has with Beta 8. No new splash screen here. Jumping into the music app, where we can really see liquid glass, you can see they have not toned it down at all. It's still kind of where it has been, and I think it still looks good. I'm glad this median that they settled on from the initial betas to the later betas to now these final betas, I think it is going to be a hit for people very happy with that liquid glass look. So speaking of liquid glass look, in the control center, you can see it looks basically identical to what it did in Beta 8 and Public Beta 5. So don't expect too much there. Everything is actually working as smooth as expected. I wasn't clicking the screen there, but you can see everything's pretty good. No new splash screens, like I said, nothing else really crazy going on. What I do want to do is actually run a Geekbench score to compare this to last week's beta and see what we get. So I'm going to go ahead and run this benchmark and take a look. So I have to say, Geekbench actually took less time to run this than normal, which is usually a good sign, and you can see we have a 3387 single core score and an 8400 multi-core score. So Looking at the historical results here, you can see it's actually slightly down single core from beta 5, as this one is 3387 compared to 3456. And then multi-core score actually jumped up from 8311 to 8400. While obviously not a huge deal, and I think obviously benchmarks are overrated just depending on your normal day-to-day process, a lot of people like to see it, so I wanted to make sure to show you that as well. Now, beyond that, I do want to call out one other thing, and that's wallpaper pickers. When you actually go to pick a wallpaper, I've had a crazy delay, and I'm going to go ahead and push down now on the screen. Look how long it takes while I swiped it. Let's do it again. Look how long it takes to pull up that picker. Are any of you guys experiencing the same delay? Looks like it's picking up after a couple of tries, but that initial try does take a lot longer than I believe it needs to take, or should take, even for that matter. So just one call out, maybe it's a little fixed here, but it still has that delay that I don't think should be present. But aside from this, let's now talk about the release schedule. So with this beta coming out in a week we really thought was going to be a bye week, needless to say, we did get beta 9 or public beta 6. Next week on the 9th, we should receive at around 3 Eastern the RC builds. And then on the 12th, we should be able to get the pre-orders for the new Apple devices. On the 15th, we should get the actual public release of watchOS, iOS, iPadOS, all the new OSs on that day. And then on the 19th, we should be receiving, finally, our nice, shiny new iPhones, Apple Watches, whatever you order will be available in store and for delivery. So, let me know in the comments below, again, what is your iPhone storage sitting at? How are these betas working? And once you put public beta 6 on your device, how is it holding up? Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.